What is up, Nintendo Land? Welcome to Nintendo Open Air Podcast. Whether you're forever alone or trying to escape a desert island with friends, it's a good time to be an Animal Crossing fan. Nintendo has dropped some
Hmm.
truth on us in the form of a Nintendo Direct revealing Animal Crossing Pocket Camp for mobile devices. But before we head to the campsite, let's introduce tonight's panel. We have our regulars with us tonight, Mo and Z, and our favorite Badge Arcade Pro, Eric, is with us as well.
Hooray.
Hooray!
Hello.
So, now that Nintendo has
Hmm.
turned over a new leaf, is it what you were expecting?
I think it is way more fully featured than I expected. I was expecting like just kind of a happy home designer thing where you just kind of push around some furniture. And it seems like this is almost like a full-fledged game. Like this seems like something they could have even put on 3DS.
Exactly.
Um, like it's very Animal Crossing. There's a lot to do in it. It looks like. I still think most people will probably play for like a month but like I don't know. I almost think it's a little too much game. Um, it might spoil some people on the experience because it seems like there's a lot to do. You can add friends and visit places and build stuff. It's like it's pretty deep for a mobile game, I thought.
Yeah, it's. I mean, I wasn't really thinking what it was going to be like. I was just automatically opposed to it because I generally don't like cell phone games. But I'm gonna try it. It looks, yeah, it's got a lot of features. It doesn't look like it's too intent on getting like you to buy what do they call them, leaf tickets.
Yeah, well,
So I
that's
mean,
one thing. Is like
it might
new
actually
like
be fun.
Animal Crossing fans are used to waiting for crap. Like if you want
Yeah.
to build a project,
Yeah,
you got to wait 24 hours. It seemed like this though. On one of the screenshots, it looked like something was like 72 hours.
72.
So,
Yeah.
but so they really draw it out in real time, I guess. But I mean, still, I think
Yeah.
if I have to wait 72 hours to put a digital something in my town
Hmm.
versus paying $1, I'll probably wait it out.
They
Upgrades in
they
Clash of
touted the.
Clans can take
Oh,
two
go
weeks.
ahead, Z. They take 2 weeks in Clash of Clans?
Oh, yeah, up to.
Oh, wow. Wow. Oh, up to. Okay.
So yeah, I don't know. It seemed cool. Like I'm wondering. I kind of had a thought today when I was thinking about how they said like you can add your friend. It's weird that it says like you can visit your friends and then if you like them you can become their friend. Like I don't understand. Like does that mean that's only people that you are already friends with, or is that saying you can meet new people there? I don't really get that
I,
aspect of
I
it. But I'm
took it
wondering if. Oh, go
I
for it.
took it to mean that random people appear and then you can become friends with them if they like you, but I'm not sure either.
I kind of
Yeah,
felt
that
that
was a weird thing.
the way it's worked in all the other mobile games for Nintendo, which is the ones I'm thinking of, are Mario Run and Fire Emblem Heroes. You can put in a code and add your friends like normal,
So then they're so then they're already your friends.
right? So I'm thinking
But
it must be pointing to you're going to get random visitors,
yeah, randos.
kind of like
Randos.
a campsite in a traditional game, but for random people.
Yeah. Well, and that's another thing is I was wondering because there is in New Leaf, there's when you go to like Harv's little RV park, there's something that says like Wi-Fi, and he says like, "Oh, I
Oh
can't get the
yeah, oh that's
Wi-Fi to
for
work."
special events though.
Is it?
There's actually I found out that's for special events if you're like actually at a live I think it's if you're at a live event or if they're distributing something over like a Nintendo zone, I think.
Because they've never done that, and they've kind of
Yeah.
scrapped Nintendo Zone too. So I don't know what that's
Yeah.
Yeah,
actually for,
that's
but
true.
I could see them integrating something where you could bring your, um, all it would take was just another little update to New Leaf, and then you'd be able to bring your RV. They've already got a little campground RV park, so it would make sense to you could import RVs there. I don't know if they'll go
Yeah.
that deep. I guess they would have. You'd think they would have mentioned it since this was the whole thing, but
Yeah.
Touching
but they
back on
had.
what you, sorry, I was just saying, touching back on what you were saying about having going to events such as Nintendo Zone. That's much more of a thing in Japan, and I think they're still
Oh,
doing that with like Pokemon games. You go to a specific store, a specific location, and you can download something specific and
Yeah,
limited to that. So
okay.
that might be
well, they
why
even
that.
did that with New Leaf. They had like the 7-Eleven set and stuff
Right.
like that. I forget how you get the Sanrio set, but I know there is one
It's by
in
cards.
Japan. Is that okay? Uh, so
I
yeah, I don't
noticed.
know.
I
What do
noticed
you
in the
think of it,
direct.
Jason?
Oh yeah, what did you think, Jason?
You're a big Animal Crossing guy.
Yeah, I definitely am. I was really surprised by it. I thought it would be something really simple and probably kind of based around kind of like a gotcha factor of trying to get get
Like
plays,
play a crane game for furniture.
sort of like that. I didn't think it would even have furniture. I thought it would be mostly about interacting with villagers and trying to get your favorite villagers to come visit you. Or I was expecting something really simple, but this has definitely blown me away. It's a lot of game for a mobile game.
Yeah, especially for a free to play, as far as we know, right?
Right. I just worry about the tickets because there are so many things to collect, and they mentioned it already, seasonal content. And speaking from playing Fire Emblem Heroes, that means there'll probably be something that's very limited time, like for 2 weeks, and
Right.
like if you only
Well,
had
even
2 weeks.
Mitomo, Mitomo's got like Halloween outfits right now, or they'll have Christmas
Right.
outfits, and it's like you use whatever your free tickets are, and then you're like, crap, I don't even care about that Santa hat.
Right.
And you're just gonna give up.
But if you're playing Animal Crossing and it's, the Gracie series or whatever, and I've got
That's
everything
true.
but the floor and the lamp,
Yeah.
you're going to be grinding out those things.
Yeah,
Right.
or coughing up a buck here or there.
Right. I'm hoping.
Um,
I try to stay free to play because I always find, like, especially with like Badge Arcade or something, it's like I spend a little bit of money and it's like I regret it later. So I
Oh,
try
dude,
well,
to
I
if
know.
you think about this, as fully featured as it is, if you would be willing to pay 20 or 25 or $30 for Happy Home Designer, you should be happy to
Mhm.
spend 15 for this thing.
Now, if it was buying a game outright and it had all of its features, if I could just buy it, that would be
Yeah,
one thing. But paying a buck or two a time to get, this kind of furniture or to get to this area or something, yeah.
yeah. Unfortunately, the whole buy it aspect, I think, got spoiled on Mario Run because so many people didn't buy it that they were just
Right.
like, we'll just microtransaction them to death. But I wish there was a point where you could microtransaction to a cap. Like you could
Right.
put a few bucks in, but once you get to 25, like especially with Eric and his Badge Arcade obsession, like I think once you get like $50 into Badge Arcade, they should just be like, you know what, you get as many plays as you want, bud, or
Yeah,
you
I
get
think they
5 a
did do
day
that
or
with
something.
I think they did do that with one game. Like, was it Pokemon Rumble, where like if you buy the equivalent of like $50 worth of whatever the in-game currency is, they'll just like let you get unlimited for a certain amount every day or something.
Like I think that would be ethical. Like, I hate microtransactions like everyone does. Obviously, they do it because it works, and if they can get 1,000 people to spend $1 rather than one person to spend 1,000 or whatever, um, it makes sense. But
Or vice versa.
I think it would be more ethical if these microtransaction games across the board, not just Nintendo, would just at some point be like, you know what, you've spent enough money that you've unlocked the game. Be like, you
Yeah,
can spend 50 bucks now or spend it. Yeah.
that's why I agree with Jason. Where I'm gonna try to like not even spend $1 in what's it called, Pocket Camp,
Pocket Camp.
because
Yeah.
yeah, Animal Crossing Pocket Camp.
Yep, that's right.
Yeah, because it's
TM,
like,
registered
I mean,
trademark.
once you start paying for it, where do you stop?
That's a good point.
Well, yeah, that's the thing. Like Animal Crossing's unique in that there are sets of furniture, and it looks like there's going to be some unique items as well. Um, but it's really deep. Like you can kind of upgrade your trailer and build an addition where you can put more crap that you have to pay for or use tickets on. Um,
By the way, I love the birds that they put in there. I believe they were
oh yeah.
swans or ravens. Yeah, those were cool.
um, they gave
I noticed in
Cyrus
the
some stuff
direct,
to do.
yeah, I noticed in the direct they they touted the feature that the game is in real time, so when it's nighttime, and I was like, oh wow, and then I thought, wait a minute, every single Animal Crossing game has been like that.
Yeah, but
This is-
well, that's what's interesting is like you actually walk around and there's like fishing and catching bugs, and it looks like there's
Yeah.
I'm guessing the gotcha stuff is going to be like they mentioned. There's like the rock break quarry, I think they called it, where you go in with a shovel and try to get minerals. It seems like that's like
Yeah.
a limited thing that you can win to get money and stuff. But it just seems like you're going to have to spend a lot of time in this game. So that's why I almost
Or
wish it
money.
was coming to a system. Yeah, but I mean, there's
I
just
know,
so much
I
to do
totally
with.
wish it was coming to a system.
Like I can't imagine. Like it seems like with New Leaf, you know, we all spent a lot of time in New Leaf.
Oh yeah.
And it seems like there's a lot of stuff in this one to do to be doing on a cell phone.
And that's what's making me wonder
Yeah.
too, because every type of game where it's like you're collecting resources and building things, there's always time limits, and they haven't mentioned anything like that. But I'm wondering if going in your RV to these other little islands where you fish or collect bugs or do things, I wonder if they're going to have, a recharge time. Something like in
Yeah,
Magic Park
definitely.
Jump, you could play and then you had to wait for it to recharge.
Well,
they
yeah,
need to do that.
that's another thing is like mobile's traditionally a place where you kind of play things in short bursts.
Right.
So it's odd that this seems like something where you're going to be walking around and doing stuff. Like, I wonder how that'll work on mobile. Like I said, it feels like a real game. I guess I can't complain about that. So far it resembles more of an Animal Crossing than any of their other mobile games have been like the game that they were. I don't know. I guess Mario was kind of.
But it's
But
sort of.
this feels like a real game.
Endless runners are not real games.
Yeah, I guess so. I don't know. Tell that to the people buying BitRunner all the time. But yeah, I kind of agree.
You were talking about time of day. I'm hoping that that's like a generalized thing because they mentioned morning, afternoon, evening. I hope it's not like something where it's like, I got to check in at, 2 p.m. between 2 and 3 p.m. on Saturday.
They'll do that too unless you buy Leaf tickets.
Like this villager wants a certain kind of insect or fish that only come out at night between these hours.
Yeah, 3 a.m.
You want to make her happy, don't you? You want Pietro to come to your town. The sheepy clown.
Yeah. And if not, you better buy him some Leaf tickets to make up for it.
Like, I personally don't care about being like, it's like, you can make friends with villagers. The friendship meter is nice, I guess, because, like, you never knew in New Leaf, like, you could never really tell if somebody was you just had to figure out, like, oh, they're asking me to change their phrase, so I guess that I must be friends enough with them. So it's nice that they have a meter, but, like, I don't care if some villager visits me. Like,
well, you kind of hit on a point there. Making friends with these villagers and stuff. You're basically just populating a screen on your phone that you can brag about to your friends.
Yeah. Ooh, I'm friends with.
Right. There needs to be some type of transfer to either a New Leaf or an upcoming Switch game or something. There needs to be a payoff for it, I guess is what I'm saying.
Well, that's what amiibo cards are for.
That's true.
I mean, the other problem that I always have, like with Animal Crossing, I know I've said to you guys, like, I spent a ton of time with New Leaf, and I'm over 1,000 hours into it, and I don't know if I would want to start another one. But I mean, that's kind of the whole thing, is that is starting from scratch every time, because otherwise, if you've got everything you had before, there's not much to do.
Yeah.
So it's a odd game like that. Like, I feel like I'm kind of done.
Burned out.
Yeah,
I'm kind of burned out on Animal Crossing too, but since it's a mobile game and like all my friends are going to be playing it, I'll give it a try. Hopefully we'll stop playing it in a month.
I'll try it again.
But
like,
then,
would you guys say that with
in.
New Leaf, you spent more time in New Leaf than any other Animal Crossing game, or was it pretty comparable?
Oh, definitely, yeah.
I think
definitely by far.
more. But I think a big part of that is because there's more friend connectivity and not features.
More connectivity. They did finally expand the catalog substantially over. That was the biggest expansion it seemed like ever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
City Folk
I
had voice chat though, which New Leaf didn't. But
And-
it wasn't
right.
really missed that much.
But I also found it much harder because I don't know if it's because it was a home console or what, or just because online connectivity wasn't at that stage, social media and such. But I had a harder time finding people to meet up with in City Folk than in New Leaf. If that makes sense.
Yeah, and New
Yeah,
Leaf
it
even
was.
had like the island that you could go to and just pick up randos that could
Right.
trash your town.
You could go and interact with
As long as
somebody
you
at
stayed,
any time.
Yeah.
as long as you stayed away from the North American island, you're usually okay.
Yeah, people in other countries are way more polite, it would seem. But I found a couple. I think I populated through a lot of the island, especially in the early days. Like I would find people because I didn't have that community that like Jason definitely had, where he already had people that he had met, and played the other games with. I was going into it completely cold, so I kind of had to find friends and build up, and then I'd find these people that like Jason that had been playing for years that already had a well-established group of friends, and then I'd be friends with them and meet these people, and like it's nice how it had a good community. So I wonder if the cell phone game will be able to kind of recreate that, because that's really, I think, the most special part about Animal Crossing is just the community of people that just play together and share things and go seek out furniture and clothing for each other. Like that was what drew me in more than the game itself, was like the community of just genuinely nice, decent people playing the game.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I've never collected everything in any Animal Crossing game. So when I finally did that with New Leaf, I was like, oh wow, I'm like burned out on this game now. I felt like I beat it, but and I'll try the mobile game though.
I guess, yeah. I wonder if they'll have a badge system in this.
I hope not. They better not.
No, I don't think so.
I think
They
the
have a badge for you bought 1,000 Leaf tickets.
Ooh, if they had stuff behind Leaf tickets, that'll be cruel.
At least
Did
you
you-
don't have to worry about like grass wear in this, I don't
Yeah.
think.
Yeah.
Since you basically just have a trailer in a trailer park.
Yeah.
Maybe that'll be their next game.
Animal Crossing trailer trash.
Yeah. Animal Crossing trailer park.
I wanted to bring that up because
What were you gonna?
I was just going to say they brought up camping.
Go ahead, Jason.
With Amiibo Festival, they've brought up camping. New Leaf, they added basically a camping DLC, and now we've got a camping mobile game. Are they going to wear that out? Please tell me the Switch game comes out eventually.
Yeah, the Switch game takes place in the woods. You're going camping. I also, the other concern I kind of have is that kind of expecting like Animal Crossing for Switch has to be coming next year, but they do kind of have to draw out their releases, because that's one thing that I've talked about before too, that people always say, I want this game, I want an F-Zero, I want a Metroid, I want blah blah blah, I want, but they can't just give you everything the first year and then have nothing. So I mean, I wonder if this is a significant enough thing that it's gonna kind of have to tide people over for another year, or longer. But I also wonder, do they want to tie it in with a Switch game?
Right.
That's kind of weird that they're releasing such a popular game on mobile when Switch is kind of supposed to compete with mobile, right?
Well, in a way. I mean, Nintendo has said that their whole idea behind the mobile was to get people acquainted with these franchises, to kind of make them curious enough to buy a piece of hardware to play that game, which I could see that.
We better
I could see people buying.
We better get a game. We better get a Animal Crossing game on Switch like shortly afterward. Then.
Yeah, I mean, I could see people buying New Leaf, based on having fun with the Animal Crossing app and being like, hey, I don't have to pay tickets for all this crap. Like, but there is a lot of grinding in it. I was really surprised to see how fully featured of a game that, like I said, wouldn't this be, I think everybody could probably agree, their most fully fleshed out game. Like this feels like an actual Nintendo game on a mobile. Like rather than just a game with Nintendo characters, this feels like a Nintendo game.
And it's actually a game that's suited for mobile too, with the controls and everything.
Yeah, I thought I didn't expect to be walking around, which like I can already
me
see you're
neither.
gonna have your finger like pointing in a direction, like walking around and then tapping to like swipe your net. And I did see there's a bigger fishing net.
Yeah, that you can buy.
They should have. I want that in New Leaf, or rather, I wanted it years ago. Um, yeah, I thought it was cool. As far as their mobile games go, I felt like this was a real home run. Like this is the first one that I didn't like roll my eyes when it got revealed. And I know we've got some big fans of the Fire Emblem one, which they said I don't play Fire Emblem ones, so I don't really know how that stacks up in comparison to the mobile game versus the actual series. But this definitely feels like an Animal Crossing game.
The Fire Emblem game is definitely a light version of Fire Emblem, a very light version of Fire Emblem.
Yeah.
So,
What's the point of the Fire Emblem game? Like, is there a story to it?
there is a story, but it's the kind of lousiest story you've ever heard in your life. So you could
It's like
care
a
less
mobile
about
game.
it. It's exactly like a mobile game story. It's even, I don't know,
Okay.
it's pretty terrible. But it's
Do
basically,
you ever like quote unquote? It's basically what?
it's basically collecting. It's kind of like a collecting characters you like, and then leveling up and completing, little daily tasks and things like that. But it's all
Do you ever
basically
quote
the same.
unquote beat the game?
Not really, because they keep adding more stuff to it. If there
Sounds like
isn't,
Pokemon Go, but for Fire Emblem
yeah,
Yeah.
kind of.
with less walking.
Well, Pokemon Go is a great game, though. It's kind of bare bones in a lot of ways, but it's fun, and it's about exploring, and it's a bit different. This is about trying to make you spend money on expensive orbs to get heroes.
I think they should call the Switch version Pokemon Stay. That'd be genius.
But what would they call the other one? Are they just gonna have one version? Oh, just for the
for the
Switch.
Yeah, since like this is our home version. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like the 3DS. I mean, I think everybody's ready for the 3DS to kind of slowly get phased out. I can't. I don't think they're gonna have another Pokemon on 3DS after.
Well, I hope
Ultra.
I mean, you say that, but then Pokemon has been a series where they've released games long after you think,
oh, the hardware's dead.
Yeah, you definitely
like
think, I should be playing something else. Yeah.
Well, like the DS, the most they did was Black and White, and then Black and White 2, right? Or they had 3 on the. Oh no, wait. Oh, you're talking about the. Okay, yeah, they also had Diamond, Pearl, and
Platinum.
Who knows what else?
Yeah, there was some on the DS.
Platinum.
Plus,
it's like
that was 3DS, I guess.
It's like I like the 3DS, and I don't mind if they keep releasing stuff for it. Like it would have been very easy for them to put this Samus Returns on Switch.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, I can see
3D.
Yeah, which I'm okay with. I mean, the 3D is really awesome. But I'd gladly take it. I'd rebuy it. I'd probably double dip on Switch if they made it cheap enough, which they would. But yeah, I mean, they're still kind of in that awkward phase where they're not really. I mean, like I said, the Switch doesn't seem as portable to me as a 3DS, and just in the fact that I can't fold it up and stick it in my pocket. Yeah. I mean, I could detach the Joy-Con and put those in one pocket and put the screen in another pocket, but then I'd also be worried that it'd get smashed in my pocket. And
I don't even like the 3DS XL because it's harder to fit than a regular one.
Yeah.
In your pocket.
Which I get that. I mean, I've gotten used to it over the years but that 3DS XL is definitely the maximum size for something I would carry in my pocket. Like,
yeah,
you definitely know it's there with you until you've worn it for a little while.
Especially if you put it in.
I've gotten used to it now. Yeah, I always just put it right into my pocket. But the Switch is like, I think it's great for like road tripping and stuff like that, probably. Although I still feel weird about leaving it in a car. Like, because like, let's say you're going to a baseball game, which I would not do. but let's say I was, and I drove up
Cubs.
to like Chicago or something, and it's like, do you take the tablet and put it in your pocket? Like, you don't want to leave it in a hot car in the summer, but it's like with
definitely
the 3DS didn't have those issues because I could take it out and play it and then just put it in my pocket. So, that's what the difference I see between the 3DS and the Switch, as far as the Switch is something to be played around the house to me, and maybe to take with you to I guess you could take it to a party. Or take it somewhere like that, but it's not like I'm not going to travel with it.
I thought the same things about. I have took it on a long road trip, but anytime I think about taking a Switch with me, it's like I think the same things you do. Am I going to have to leave it in the car? What am I going to do with it? I don't really want to carry it in with me wherever I'm going. And then I think,
am I gonna?
Will I play it offline?
And then you think, why can't I have a purse?
I do. I have the Zelda bag. It's like a purse.
I mean, if you can rock a bag or a merce, I mean, that's really the perfect thing for it.
Yeah.
Is there a car charger for the Switch?
Yeah, there is.
Was it Nyko makes it, or
no? Any USB-C cable will work.
Oh,
well, that's true too. But yeah, they've got a car charge to USB-C that's officially Switch branded. Now Z actually has the official Nintendo merce for the Switch. I think he's got the messenger bag case.
Well, that's not official Nintendo. That's PowerA, right?
Yeah, I guess it's PowerA.
It's the closest thing to an official man purse, for the Switch.
Yeah, which I've got little handle carrying cases and stuff like that. But I guess I didn't think that far ahead when I bought my cases that like I'm not gonna really want to leave these in a car. Like that's my whole thing is once you get to your destination, what do you do with the Switch?
Right.
But yeah, I'm gonna have to get a purse. Or just leave it at home in the dock like I always do. Anyway, so I think
I used to bring it out a lot more often, and now I've just kind of stopped because it's not worth the hassle.
It's a liability, yeah. And I'm much more worried about I'm much more worried about damaging it somehow than I was on my 3DS, even though there's only $100 difference in the price point.
Or if somebody trying to lift it.
Yeah.
That I'm more concerned about. That I'm way because it's still a hot item. It's you know what I mean. It's still a reasonably hard to get item. So that is a much bigger concern to me. So like I never leave it in the car for that reason.
Although with the ones that I've seen in the stores recently, because I went to Target the other day and they had a demo unit set up, which I know we were going to talk a little bit about. Finally got a little hands-on with Odyssey, but they had probably 6 or so in the case. Like of switches in the different colors. So hopefully the scalpers are going to have nothing to scalp this Christmas.
Still nothing in any of the shops around here that I've seen. Never seen one in a case.
Oh, really?
Seems like most of the times when I look around here, of course I live in a fairly rural area, but you see them frequently. And usually when I do find them, I see 6 or 7. So.
Yeah, I've been seeing it. Maybe we're getting there at the right time. I saw in the last week I've seen the red and blue Joy-Con, like the opposite color, just the separately sold Joy-Con, which I hadn't seen those since launch day. No. I saw the yellow Joy-Con in the wild for the first time ever.
Oh yeah,
I never
took a picture.
I mean, they only had one pair, but I had just never seen them before. I'm still not going to cough up $80 for them. I don't use the 2 Joy-Con I have now.
I know, right? I mean,
but yeah, it's like I'd rather spend another $70 and get a second Pro controller than buy another pair of Joy-Con, I think.
Me too.
But you never know. I'm sure there's going to be more quirky Joy-Con centric games that'll be coming out, and I fully trust that Nintendo at some point will have a like a killer app for the Joy-Con aside from that 1-2 switch. There's going to be some game where they do Joy-Con right,
I have to say, talking about the Odyssey.
Story. Go ahead, Jason.
Odyssey. Talking about the Odyssey demo, you had 2 options with the demo, and it's either playing the Joy-Cons on the Joy-Con grip or just handheld. and I thought they felt pretty good just holding them to play Odyssey. And I mean, it's not a super actiony game, so it was comfortable.
I went with the Joy-Con grip, of course. I'm a very controller person. Did you throw the hat and control it with a Joy-Con?
I didn't really figure out how to control it, but I was flicking it just by flicking the Joy-Con. So
really,
yeah, I enjoyed it. I thought it was intuitive enough.
Yeah, it's. I think it's. I mean, I watched another trailer for it today, and I still can't get super excited for it. But I can judge from everybody else who loves that style of game that everybody thinks it looks good, and is excited about it. So I'm happy for the world.
I was looking over some kid's shoulder at Target today, and it looks good. I mean, it's an HD. It's an HD Super Mario 64. That's what everyone's been clamoring for years, and that's what Nintendo gave them. It's pure fan service.
Yeah.
You know.
I mean, I guarantee I'm sure it's something, if I played it, I would have some fun with it. I trust Nintendo, especially with Mario games, that they're going to make a good product no matter what, even if it's not the Breath of the Wild of the Mario series. I still think every effort's at least a solid effort. There hasn't really been a piece of crap Mario game, like mainline title, really, that everyone, I don't think, that I can think of right now, that everyone's just been like, this is the worst thing ever. Like even the ones that are just kind of mediocre, people still kind of love.
Yeah.
If there has been a mediocre?
Super Mario 2, the American version.
Yeah, that's kind of what I felt. You mean Doki Panic? Yeah, I do like it too. I replayed it on the 3DS about a year ago. But at the time when Mario was hot and brand new, when Mario 2 came out, that thing sold like gangbusters back then.
Yeah.
It's only looking back that you're just like, that one kind of sticks out, but we know why. But everything else has been pretty well received. Maybe Sunshine. I don't know if people went crazy gaga for that. I know they do now.
It was all right. But yeah, it was good.
I remember that was the first Mario game that I played that I didn't complete, because I bought that on GameCube.
That was, especially if you're trying to get all those invisible blue coins.
Oh yeah,
that was hard without the internet.
Yeah, that game was pretty rough, and I think because my mind didn't know that there was 2D Mario and 3D Mario. I just figured Mario games are Mario games. And I knew that you ran around, but I didn't think of it being a different style, and it just didn't connect with me for some reason. Looking back, it all makes sense. Yeah, because you didn't
like Super Mario 64.
Yeah, I mean, I played around a little bit and was just like, it's okay. I still prefer Super Mario World. I'm glad all you people out there are getting your Super Mario 64 style game. I think it looks cool. I even like the cute little 2D stuff that they throw in there, like when you see in the trailers, like where it's almost like Link between worlds.
Yeah,
where he's like on the wall, or it's very much just the Mario version of Link Between Worlds. I
think the transition between 2D and 3D from doing that is pretty good, and it's fairly well placed. Yeah. I thought it was decent. Speaking of which, I also had downloaded the Sonic Forces demo from the Japanese eShop today and played around for that. So the demo is limited to 1 minute of playtime, and then it just goes to like a screen and shows like a little Mario or a Sonic song. But that game transitions between like a behind the back kind of 3D running style to a 2D style. So maybe that's the future of games, is trying to link those two worlds like that. Maybe we'll get a Mega Man or something in the future that you run around and then it goes to a 2D style.
I actually like that they made it 1 minute, because I don't really like to play demos that much, but yeah, it does seem pretty short, 1 minute.
It is.
I mean, so you would rather be limited because you don't like to play demos?
Yeah, I just like whenever a demo comes out, I feel like I have to download it and just try it out. But then I'm like, I really don't want to. Sometimes I even just open it and I'm like, oh, I don't like this game, and I like just delete it and close it. But Yeah,
Well,
1
that's
minute
what they're
is.
for, but
I'm pretty sure.
I wouldn't mind. I mean, I don't just give us a level, you know.
Right,
Give us
exactly.
a
I know,
full
right?
level or something. Like it feels like did they used to do that back in the day in the stores? Did they used to have the timed demos like that? I don't know that they were ever that short.
No,
No.
I don't think so. No.
I remember like being in a Walmart and stuff playing like Rogue Squadron or Rogue Leader for GameCube, and it seems like that was probably a 10-minute as well. I remember playing that over and over and over. That was an achievement, a masterpiece.
It was. It's a brilliant game.
God, and it looked so good at the time. I remember being like, "Wow, I can't believe it looks this great." The Switch will probably not have too many of those moments, but I don't know. Nintendo's always really good at getting the most out of their hardware.
Yeah.
I really have high hopes for aesthetically for Metroid 4. Like that's probably going to be their opportunity to make a game look really great. That was kind of what was unique about Metroid Prime was that Nintendo always kind of hides or cheats with their art styles, and Metroid Prime was just a really good looking game. Like there was nothing, there was no art style cheating or anything really about that. It was just a great looking game.
Oh wow.
But I don't mind it. You know, that Mario can be cartoony and that's perfectly fine. Splatoon can be kind of cartoony and that's fine. Breath of the Wild can look like cell shaded animation. That's fine. I don't need brilliant graphics. The real thing's going to be when everybody tries to start porting stuff, which I'm guessing is going to start picking up big time now that if the Switch continues to be as successful as it is. I think it's the cool thing about them launching in March is that it gave them a long enough run up that by the time the first Christmas hits, people already know it's a hit. You know, instead of launching at the holiday, and being like, "Oh, this thing's a hit. Let's start making games for it." Whereas Nintendo's the only one that does not get the benefit of the doubt. You know, I guess PlayStation and Xbox are kind of proving themselves that they're like, "Oh, hey, Xbox has got a new system. PlayStation's got a new system. We'll go ahead and start making games now." Whereas Nintendo, everybody kind of takes a wait and see.
Right.
But I think now they're going to start, especially I think they'll start taking a lot of those older games like with LA Noire and stuff like that and start porting it.
Especially if these games now have success, like LA Noire and Doom and things like those have good success.
I'm starting to think the fact of the matter is we're going to have a ton of games that are going to be locked at 30 frames and 720. And I'm personally okay with it. Like, I don't know if I would necessarily, in a side-by-side, if I would pick up 30 frames versus 60 frames. You know, I'm sure it's smoother. But I've been playing crappy 12 frames a second Nintendo games my whole life. So it's like,
Star Fox?
I don't really, I mean, especially that first Star Fox. Whew.
Yeah, that was at 10 frames.
Yeah, so it's like, I mean, I can overlook that. The whole thing is, it's like it's gonna have to come down at some point to being like, hey, this is the portable one. It's really cool, and I give kudos to like Bethesda and for even trying to do like, let's put a game that came out in 2017 out on the Switch in 2017. It's nice, and from what I've heard from everybody, it's really easy to work with and to port that stuff over. So I expect like next E3, they're probably going to have a ton of third parties start coming out and trying to throw their stuff out, which I'm looking forward to.
You're going to have a Mass Effect 3 Deluxe. They had that.
Yeah.
By the way, Doom came out in 2016, technically.
Oh, did it? I thought it was March of this year. Was it March of last year? Either way, it's still way closer. Well, I don't know. I guess Watch Dogs came out to the Wii U about a year afterwards. Either way, and the fact that Wolfenstein's going to be coming, and that game's, I think, maybe just out or maybe not out yet. I know it comes out this month.
It's coming out the same night as Mario. Yeah, it's the midnight release is Mario and that.
Oh, then it doesn't have a chance. It's getting crushed. That will actually be kind of a fun race to watch, like to see how well Odyssey does. overall there seems to be a lot of hype around it.
Yeah. Especially with that
I know.
commercial, they really.
Yeah. Odyssey, yes, see. There, there is. Yeah, I mean, if you can't go on Twitter without seeing a billion Mario Odyssey posts, so the hype levels
and
are
spoilers.
pretty good. Yeah, that's true too. Not spoilers for me. For me, they're just cliff notes. But yeah.
So,
Anyway,
moving on to the next topic is, of course, Switch system update. It's probably the biggest piece of news before the Animal Crossing Pocket Camp, of course. And of course,
yeah,
that brought.
that was a welcome surprise out of nowhere.
Yeah, it's just like we were sitting down to play Splatoon one night, and it's like, wait a minute, there's a system update. So, of course, we had to download it immediately.
Yeah, it feels like the relatives are coming to dinner, is what Nintendo views Christmas as, and they're like, oh crap, we better put this on. We better put this shirt on. We told people it was going to have video. They're, I think that's kind of what they're doing, is they're just going to piece together little things. I wouldn't be surprised if we don't get at least one more something. I really expected some sort of aesthetic change by Christmas. Like, didn't the Wii U have a big update like one Christmas, like on Christmas Day? It seemed like there was like a Christmas Day thing.
Launch year,
wasn't
I
it?
think.
Wasn't it like a Miiverse update or?
Yeah, maybe that was it. Maybe it was Wii, or maybe it was 3DS even that did. But yeah, it seemed like one of the systems had like something, because they want to make it look good when the most people are adopting. Which I wonder if too about that. Like, are they going to have more available at Christmas this year than they've had all year previously, as far as for the install base? You'd think that would be the smart thing to do.
Yeah, that would be.
But yeah, that's what I like having video. It's cool to post your crazy Splatoon videos and stuff on Twitter now. So you basically can capture 30 seconds of video.
After
the Switch, the Switch kind of DVRs it for you, and then you can just, after something cool happens, you'll capture the last 30 seconds that happened, which is nice. And it only works. It's game specific right now, which is kind of weird.
I can't do it on Ultra Street Fighter 2?
No, I think right now it's only Nintendo titles for right now. Right now they've got Splatoon 2, Mario Kart 8, Breath of the Wild.
Well, there was one that was the first third party to get it, right? Or is this going to be the first third party?
Yeah, Mutant Mudds, which is coming pretty soon, which was a 3DS title. They hopped on it, which it'll be another thing like the Joy-Con vibrate stuff, where third-party devs will just be like, oh, let's tack this in there too. But really, that's something that they should just allow everything to have video. It's like, I have a feeling that it's probably something that has to get done on the developer's side, but it should be something that should be getting done on Nintendo's side. But I feel like it has to be built in probably to the hardware or to the software rather than being part of the hardware. But it's nice. It's cool to watch people's videos or to take videos, especially like Jason and I and some people from the group were playing Splatoon together and able to be like, hey, check this video out. Here's a cool teamwork in action.
Hey, check out this 30-second clip of a 3-minute to 5-minute match.
Yeah. I think they also did say that in the future they do plan to lengthen the amount of time. I think they did say. Did they say 3 minutes?
Well, I don't know if
they are listening.
In the very beginning, didn't they say that they would have Twitch support? And wouldn't that say like a constant stream?
I don't know.
Did they ever directly call out Twitch?
I don't think so. I think we probably just assumed.
Okay.
I think that was your hopes and dreams, thinking that Nintendo had modernized enough that they were gonna put in some sort of, because other consoles can do
about
that.
how they're going to use existing social media platforms, right? And so far, that's just meant Twitter and Facebook, or whatever. But I mean, I think we all took that to mean, oh, well, Twitch, like the gaming related social platform.
It would be a huge step for Nintendo, because they're trying to get into the competitive scene with all these games. it would be a step in the right direction, I think.
Yeah, how do they think they can do it if they're not going to allow people to stream? I don't know. That's just you can't be a player if they're going to be so locked down about it.
Right.
They've got Nintendo Versus on Twitter. What do you want?
Yeah, huh.
It's a legitimate competitive gaming experience.
And I have mentioned this before, but I kind of expect that if there's a way to copyright strike stuff on Twitter, those will be taken down by Nintendo.
I think the thing is Twitter's not really monetized. Like, I think there are people on Twitter who are like, someone Tide will say, hey, say that you washed your shirt in Tide and we'll slip you $50 for every follower you got. I think stuff like that probably goes down with celebrities and stuff on Twitter, but yeah, Twitter's not really monetized in that way that I don't think Nintendo can copyright content. I don't know. There are ads, I guess.
I don't know. My YouTube videos of Mario Kart for Wii U, they were not monetized, but
that's true. But Nintendo still wanted to go ahead and give you a content strike.
That's right. Need to remove this, even though it was done through our program in our game.
And they call the Switch version Deluxe. Doesn't even have YouTube integration.
That's right.
That's mind-boggling. Why would they let you post to YouTube if they're gonna copyright strike you when you do?
Well, you can still do it. They just want to make sure that you know that they're going to get all the money. Because obviously your clips were going to go super viral.
That's right.
From standard run-of-the-mill Mario Kart 8 gameplay. Although I wonder the guy who did the Luigi death stare. Nintendo was probably more than happy to take the money from that guy.
That's what I was going to bring up, yeah.
Like, by the way, just so you know, we own this. Because they did use that a little bit, didn't they, in some of their promotional stuff?
Apparently they have a lot of pull on YouTube because they were able to ban that guy from Twitter.
we were talking about that before we were recording. There's I believe he was in Hong Kong, I believe. There was a player who was playing Super Mario Odyssey. He had apparently legitimately some store there had broken street date and sold him a copy of the game. So he live streamed like an hour of gameplay from it. And Nintendo was so butthurt over this that they somehow got YouTube to like ban the guy's channel, I think, which, I mean, I can understand that they're concerned about spoilers and stuff, but like, I don't feel like the guy wasn't really under any obligation not to. If a store, I mean, I'd take issue with the store, don't go after the guy. He legitimately was able to somehow get the copy. So, this guy's not under any kind of review embargo.
Right.
Like people that get promotional copies of the game, he paid money fair and square. He should be able to do what he wants with it. But yeah, apparently Nintendo must be in good with Google.
But not good enough to release Super Mario Run first instead of on Apple.
They wanted you to think they were the Apple boys. You never know. Maybe one of their future mobile things will be like coming first to Google.
Yeah, Animal Crossing.
No.
Good. I mean, we can't be too much further off from having Super Mario Run be the Google game of the day on their main page.
Right.
It's just a matter of time, or at least have a level of it. But I don't know. I thought it was a welcome update. It was. It did have some other little side effects too.
Side effects
that people are noticing. Like they've obviously done some sort of update to the USB port, and that people have figured out that you can use the Wii U GameCube adapter now to have some general kind of connectivity to the GameCube. So there's 4 more controllers for your friends.
So that was like an accident?
I mean, I guess it had, I don't know. I don't know that they purposefully did it, but I think they must have activated something like Z was saying earlier. They probably activated something in the USB because it also has got some USB headsets able to be plugged into the dock's USB port.
Ooh.
Which I think Z had also tested that. functionality as well.
No, not yet.
If you're one of the people that like to have it hooked up to your TV, yet still play through headphones.
Z, what were you saying about the Wavebird? Because I missed that part.
Oh, just that the Wavebird, right, was a wireless GameCube adapter, so it works with that.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, you can hook that into there, so you could, if you don't mind going back to the AA days, you can run that. I know I think that was the first Nintendo product I had, I think, that ran on batteries that actually didn't eat them up in like a second. Of course, I only had like the Super Scope 6
Except
before.
for the original Game Boy.
Yeah, I guess
I
skipped that. Yeah.
Me too.
I was not cool enough to have a Game Boy. But yeah, I guess that probably did okay too, thanks to it not being a color screen and not having a backlight.
Yep.
Now the little lights and other crap that you had to power so that you could actually see the screen.
But it's so funny that like even
as well.
Even for its time, like those were two basic standard, like they.
Yeah.
If they had brought that to any like marketing firm, like any major tech company, and said, "This is what we're going to sell, and we're going to make millions off it," anybody would have laughed in their faces. You know, in 1989, even a black and white LCD screen and no blacklight was just stupid.
Yeah. Well, that's kind of Nintendo's wheelhouse, is, you know, having technology that's not necessarily state of the art all the time. Although the GameCube really was, and that's the thing. They're hit and miss. Like the Wavebird is, I as far as I know, is probably, if not the first wireless controller, it's probably the first like mass marketed one. It's yeah.
It was very early.
Like, I mean, I guess they had some wireless controllers for NES and SNES. I remember like Acclaim made some like bulky infrared ones, but the Wavebird worked, man. That thing was awesome. I felt like it was just as good. That was my preferred way to play. It was a little bulkier, I guess, but it wasn't too bad.
And the original DS screen, right, was out years before touchscreen phones were really a thing.
That's right.
Yeah, that was.
The Wavebird wasn't original Nintendo, though, right? Isn't it like a third party?
Nope.
No, it's Nintendo.
I don't know. Yeah, I think it's
and
Nintendo.
I'm still, to this day, I'm kicking myself for not buying a second one. I got the silver one, but I never got the gray one. I should have gotten one of each.
That kind of drops onto a topic we talked about before we started recording, and that was, now people can use, you know, your Wavebirds or GameCube controllers instead of buying Joy-Cons or Pro controllers. But who's going to have those laying around unless you're pretty hardcore like us? And
we do.
Probably going to already have.
I mean,
I do.
Okay, but here's the other thing: who else is going to have a Wii U GameCube adapter unless they're hardcore? You know?
Oh, that's true. That's nobody's
like
got that.
You're pretty hardcore if you've got a Wii U. You know, let alone having a Wii U GameCube adapter. Which,
well, okay, but that being said, some people I think were buying those to plug into PC because you could do that.
I do remember people doing those and like making drivers so that they could, you know, use their GameCube emulators and stuff on their computer.
So there may be some out there. You know, there may be actually more out there than just the Wii U core owner group, but there still can't be that many.
I mean, there were third parties,
small hardcore audience. Yeah,
and if you remember the day one, those were harder than an Amiibo to get too, because they sold out of those, and people were complaining that, you know, they didn't have them. But then there was I remember going to my Best Buy like probably a year after Smash came out, and they probably had 3 or 4 of them that just sat there for months.
After the initial month, that was another one of those, you know, nobody can get it Nintendo products. And then after the first month, they pumped out a whole bunch of them, and then nobody wanted them. So I think that was another situation where Nintendo felt they got burned. But it's like, hey guys, and again, there were some people without Wii U's that were still buying them, but you know, they should have realized what their ceiling was, and it was going to be pretty much the number of people who bought Smash Brothers for Wii U, and that was it. and not all of those were going to buy it. So it was like how they overshot on production on that is kind of difficult to figure out.
I mean, I'm still waiting for the day that they cash in on this whole scalper thing and just make twice as much of a product, knowing that they're going to sell to a bunch of scalpers and everyone's going to have one, and then the scalpers will be the ones that get burned, and then they'll quit scalping.
Yeah, but then they can't play the rarity card again after that, really.
Yep. Artificial scarcity.
They've kind of blown it. They you know what I mean? Once they do that, then I think they've, all of a sudden it's like, what the hell, guys? I don't know. It's Nintendo. They've always played their own game, I guess.
I haven't gotten out of the house enough to know how they're doing with the Super NES Classic. I know when I went out last week, they didn't have them anywhere. Not that I'm really looking. I know. I think this Friday, they've said there's going to be restocks at Toys R Us and some stuff, but.
I'm gonna see. I'm because we get our late night release tomorrow night for Mario. I have a suspicion that there might just be some Super NES Classic stock at the Best Buy after hours when I show up for my Mario. I have a suspicion that's going to be the case. Yeah. I think this is Nintendo's big kickoff for the holiday season, and they're just going to be dropping just tons of product this Friday. I hope, because I'd like to pick up some of the stuff.
It would make sense. It would make sense that Nintendo would ship all their crap together. Although I know from I remember talking to some people at Toys R Us when the Amiibo thing was going on, and they were telling me like they would just get like a UPS package would come. Like they wouldn't know when it was coming. Like Nintendo didn't say, hey, there's another shipment coming Friday. They would just be like, oh, here's a UPS package from Nintendo. Let's open it up. Oh, it's got a handful of Amiibo in it. And maybe at that time it was because they weren't producing enough. And that's why it was like that. But they must be communicating a little bit better now that retailers can actually say like, hey, this is going to be in stock. And I've seen them do that on I think Target did that on Switches not too long ago, that they were like, this Saturday we're going to have Switches. So maybe they're communicating a little bit better or making enough now. But it's having a Super NES Classic in stock is definitely a good way to turn a $60 purchase into a $150, $140 purchase.
What were you going to say, Jason?
I was just going to say it works good for both ends. Nintendo gets promotion free through like circulars, but also, and it also ensures that they're going to be carrying Nintendo products, but also the stores get the benefit of having people coming in looking for a Nintendo product. So why not do it?
Right. Well, I mean, it's amazing after Amiibo and some of the other stuff that they've done that stores are even willing to still carry Nintendo products, because as much as you can hate on Nintendo and give them crap for that scarcity, those retailers are the ones who had to deal with a person in their face saying like, hey, your ad said this was going to be here and it's not here. You can't, I mean,
Amazon stopped selling their hardware, right? Amazon stopped selling Nintendo hardware because, what was it, problems with 3DS screens? Poor quality control, a lot of returns on 3DS screens.
Oh, really?
What was it? There was something. I don't remember. It was something with one of their consoles that I thought.
It wasn't them ruining kids under 7's eyes, was it?
No, it was something to do with they got screwed out of returns or something, or they, Nintendo wouldn't take the returns. Something. There was some deal a while back. And Amazon just wouldn't ever sell. Like, I think it's still the case. Well, maybe not. You can probably get 3DSs and stuff.
No, yeah, they're definitely back on Switch, because Amazon.
Yeah, of course.
They got them on that Prime truck, I think.
Yeah, no, there was. I'm gonna have to research that for another episode, for a future episode. But yeah, for a long period of time, you could not buy Nintendo hardware through Amazon. Period. I don't think. Yeah, I don't think you could buy any sort of Nintendo console.
So Z, if you do see a Super NES at the Best Buy, are you gonna pick it up? Super NES Mini Classic.
Yeah, and then sit on it and see if I can scalp it later.
Oh. No, wild, and I just looked away, man.
Yes,
I was strong.
Yeah. I think Jason's going to kick you off his friend list.
That's right. I'm going to have to delete it later.
Really? You've seen it? You've seen it in the wild?
Yeah, no.
Said no.
I will say there. I mean, there is part of me that when I see a Switch, I'm thinking, man, Christmas is 2 months away. Like,
who can I buy this for?
There's 20 on every store shelf.
Yeah, I know. I'm like, there's 6 here. I could easily buy one and just see what happens. But I also, you never know. Maybe they will come through. Maybe Reggie was just trying to use a scare tactic when he said he couldn't guarantee there'd be enough for Christmas. They'd be stupid not to have enough for Christmas. But it is.
Well, we've already confirmed that they're
Here's
stupid.
Yeah,
exactly. In the face of every shortage they've ever had, they've sworn they've got plenty. Now all of a sudden, they're coming out and saying, "We don't know, folks, if we're going to have enough." Yeah. I don't buy it. Something changed in your rhetoric, so I don't buy it.
Yeah.
I hope that's the case, and that then that would prove that whatever Nintendo says, you can just believe the opposite. When it comes to, at least when it comes to stock.
Yeah, I hope they're laying everywhere this Christmas. You just go in a store and there's stacks. I would love that.
Can I also say I'm hoping that like there's Metroid
to be a bad sign
I go to
too.
Pick up Mario.
Oh yeah. Well, now they're gonna have to reprint all the packaging, so it's probably gonna take a few more months since they had a typo in the box.
Yeah, why? I don't understand why the Metroid Amiibo were suddenly back to the whole rarity thing. Like the rare Amiibo thing hasn't been a thing for a while.
Yeah.
I think that part of it could be because Metroid has not always been the biggest selling. Like it's definitely they've got a very vocal community that was the game you'd always, whenever there was any direct or anything, people were like, God, Metroid, please. But it's a very vocal community, but it's not ever a huge big seller. So I think maybe they were just kind of underselling it a little bit and said, let's not go too overboard with these. Like I said, especially with like the Animal Crossing Amiibo that we've mentioned before. I think they're done with
they're
done with having shelves and shelves, because that's what they obviously are always scarce for, is because they don't want to have a bunch of their product just sitting on a shelf not getting sold for 6 months to a year or 2 years, like the Animal Crossing.
Yeah.
How long ago did those come out? I mean, that's got to be multiple years now.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the
2 years
Splatoon
Christmas.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Splatoon Amiibo are still scarce. I tried to pick up some. There's none around.
Yeah, that's true too.
Stores.
And that was the case with the first Splatoon Amiibo too. Like they were.
Oh, you're right.
They were hard to find forever. Yeah,
that's true. I forgot that Splatoon 2 was also recent rare ones. I never saw them in the wild, but I wasn't really looking.
It'd also be nice if they would just, when they had an Amiibo like that, just put out cards and say, for $5 you can get these 3 cards. Like, I think there's a set that wants the figures, and there's a set that wants the unlocks. And there might be some together, but for the most part, if you're buying, and I am too. But I mean, I think there's people who are just like, I don't care about the figure. I would just take a card to just get the unlock.
There's enough people in the comments sections complaining that why do I have to buy a $12 piece of plastic why can't I just get this as DLC? Yeah,
like especially in my case, like with the first Splatoon, like I bought that 3-pack. I thought that was cool. It was like Splatoon 1. But I don't want to have to throw down on another 3-pack to get basically the same 3 figures in different poses and colors. Like, I'm happy with my green squid. I don't need an orange squid or whatever.
Right.
I guess maybe they're just trying to prevent, because even the original Splatoon 3-pack, all of the original 3-packs eventually were like $10.
Ah.
A lot of them were at different places. I know I saw those KK Slider and
yeah, that's what I was thinking of. KK Slider 3-pack.
Best Buy really overbought on those, at least in my area, and they were blowing them out for $5 a piece like a month or 2 ago.
Wow.
I think they're back up to like 15, but still. Animal Crossing, that's the Amiibo curse. They're gonna have to watch themselves with this next game they come out with.
That's true. That is a good question. Will they do Amiibo? Will they do cards?
And actually,
do anything?
Let's give everybody a heads up right now. I can guarantee you, whatever the next Animal Crossing mainline game is, the amiibo are going to be rare as hell when those first come out. Because
how are they going to be different from? Is it going to be? Go ahead, Momo.
Because they know that they've got tons of those sitting on shelves right now, so they're going to be like, let's not let that happen again. Let's make 2 per store.
That's right.
It'll just be like KK Slider and another pose.
Yeah, and that's the other thing. Is like, I don't want to have to rebuy the same stuff over and over again.
Yeah.
I've already got 2 Samuses, a couple Marios,
2 Isabels.
Yeah, which are the same Isabel in just a different outfit, right?
That's right.
Yeah.
That was the ultimate right there. She's just wearing different clothes.
Yeah.
Well, they did that with the Splatoon amiibo, didn't they? On the first one,
Yeah, they did.
they just like they just changed like the skin color or something, yeah, and like change hair color and the color of the squid or something, but it was like the exact same thing.
Yeah,
they should have made that an exclusive somewhere.
Yeah, it did.
Variant.
Yeah, it had exclusive written all over it, but I don't think anyone cared. Well, it was so late, and it was after the Callie and Marie amiibo too, I think.
Yeah, it's like anyone who is going to buy it, especially on Wii U, probably already had it. Yep. So those were exclusive for double dippers.
Yep.
Which means in 20 years, those will probably be super rare.
Right.
So like nobody bought these. Yeah, there hasn't been a lot of amiibo coming out lately. I guess they did some Fire Emblem ones, right? And we got the Mario Odyssey ones.
Which I've yet to see the new Fire Emblem in the wild. So
I've seen a couple of them, I think. If you're looking for some, let me know. I think I've seen, but I'm still only seeing like 1 or 2 of each one. I think they've cut back. I'm still kind of surprised I wonder if they'll do a Breath of the Wild restock for Christmas.
Now, when I was at,
they already did one.
Right. They will again with the next DLC, right when they put out the Champions.
Yep.
Yeah, it would make sense.
However, at the Nintendo event on last Saturday, when I stopped by, I think they had pretty much all of the Breath of the Wild amiibo, but it was only 1 or 2, of each pose or of each.
Oh, really?
One. I don't know if they had Balkablin or not, but they had most of the others.
Yeah, that's the only one I haven't seen restocked. Although that was also the one that was just sitting on shelves. Like that was the one you could get at first,
Yep.
Yeah.
Because I think doesn't it just give you like a wooden club or something? Like there's nothing real spectacular.
No, it gives you a lot of meat.
Give you meat, raw, like the lowest level, lowest quality raw meat in the game. I think pretty much.
And now you can get that from just reading Breath of the Wild news on Switch.
That's true.
He also released Koopa Troopa and Goomba.
That's right.
For Bowser's Minion. I
was talking with my friend Barry last night, and I think he had mentioned something about he's got the Wii U version of Breath of the Wild, and he wasn't like really sore about it, but he was just like, I wish they had done something like that for Wii U where we could get stuff for reading like news. I'm like, do you really need more apples? Like you're not really missing out on anything by not having those on the Wii U version.
No.
Yeah.
But it would have been nice to have like Miiverse integration on Switch, because I know I went through the Miiverse stuff on Breath of the Wild just to see what people are seeing on on the Wii U version, or what they're doing on the Wii U version.
Me too.
It's nice to have a place, like, I don't know, it's weird because with Twitter I don't really want to seek out screenshots.
Yeah.
But on Miiverse I would, Well, I'll just quickly scroll through stuff and see if there's anything interesting. Yeah.
Well, most of the stuff on Miiverse, people were respectful of spoilers and things like that, and lots of times there was really clever content created.
Yeah. Mostly.
Which there's some of that on Twitter too, but you also knew if somebody had a big spoiler or something that somebody was going to report it, because everybody there's a cop. On Miiverse. Or at least there's a
snitch.
Yeah, everybody's a snitch on Miiverse. I mean, that's kind of that's the good and the bad on it. Like, if you're legitimately there for gaming stuff, not going to get hit with spoilers. But if you're there just to watch people make jokes and be funny, those people are also getting taken away by the same people reporting.
I'd always show all posts on all of mine, I wish there was like a button where you could just say show all posts for every game, but you have to do it
Click all spoilers.
game by game. Yeah.
Yeah. Just put a little check mark. Show all spoilers. Yeah, that would have been awesome. It's not too late. Nintendo saved Miiverse.
That's right.
We got maybe 2 weeks now, I think. Right about the
about
2
that.
week mark.
Yeah, 1 week to Halloween. Yep, right. 2 weeks.
So it's getting to be time. We're since this is being recorded on a Tuesday. No. Yeah. Yeah. 2 weeks. We're gonna have a Miiverse party, I guess.
It's sad. I mean, I haven't used Miiverse a lot in recent times, but it's still just sad to think it's not going to be there. And
yeah, it is kind of a ghost town. Yeah. Like when I go and I hit the activity feed, I can scroll like maybe half a page down, and I'm seeing posts from like a month ago.
Yeah, I looked the other day.
So,
just in my first scroll down, it's like I don't remember seeing this, and I look at the post date, and it's like, oh, July. I guess I missed that.
Yeah, it's like, oh, I haven't really looked at anybody's posts since then. Yeah, it's winding down enough too. Some people come, people go on Miiverse too. There's people who were all over it in the beginning that are just kind of dying out, and it's one of those things that it's not really necessary, but it was nice to have.
Yeah,
and it brought a sense of
community. Part of it is, it is, and part of it is there's no Miiverse on Switch, so you're losing on all the posts on that too.
And it's much more difficult on something like Twitter to go if you wanted people to play Splatoon with. It's much more difficult to track someone down.
It is because it's like Twitter feels like more personal to me. On Miiverse, it's like, hey, you've got a Wii U, I've got a Wii U, we play Splatoon, let's play Splatoon. Or more than likely, in a lot of cases, I would find people that I played with them in a game, and then they would, hunt me down on Miiverse and be like, hey, what's up? Or they'd send me a friend request or something, which I guess that happens on Switch too. But that's the barrier. Like, I get friend requests, not as much as in the beginning, but I'll get like Splatoon 2 friend requests.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like, well, what's the point? Like, exactly. I can add this person, but I really don't. I mean, I guess if they've got the app and I've got the app, I could try to coordinate through that bizarre situation.
But you don't have the app.
Yeah. But on Miiverse, it was so much easier to just be like, "Hey, man, when are you going to be playing tomorrow? What time are you hopping on?" Or,
Well, it was great that it was like the entire community was could only be made up, really. Well, I don't know. Is this true? I guess you could really log into Miiverse from the web. So you could technically have a Miiverse account and not own a 3DS or a Wii U.
You had to have a Nintendo account, though.
Yeah.
You had to have a Nintendo account.
Yeah,
so I don't know if that changes now that anybody can just make one on the Nintendo account website. But before that, which was right when the Switch came out, before that, I don't think you could be on there.
Well, and you could look at their posts as well and say, here's, in-game posts from the game we've been playing, or here's posts from other games. And you're like, oh, they really do have a Wii U, or they really do have a 3DS.
Yeah.
And it's real easy, too. Like I've said before, like you could be like, oh, this guy's a total idiot. Like, or you'll be like, yeah, that guy was okay. And then you look and you're like, oh, this dude is definitely 7 years old.
Yeah.
Like, usually you could tell by their stick figure drawings.
Yes.
Like for a like. Follow for a follow. But I mean, we all, we haven't really hidden that we've all kind of came together through Miiverse. If it wasn't for Miiverse, this podcast wouldn't exist.
That's right.
Yeah,
I've made good friends there, and so it's really cool.
Yeah, I mean, we all came from Miiverse, which is kind of unique, which also is why none of us live in the same area.
That's right.
But
yeah, you guys could meet my wife.
Miiverse, Nintendo. Yeah.
It's really weird.
What did you say, Z?
It's really weird.
What were you say, Jason?
I think it was me. It's really weird. Nintendo worked so hard to create this community and bring gamers together, and now they're like, "Go do it on Twitter, but don't you dare share your handle."
Yeah. Yeah, don't go do it on Twitter, but don't say what your Twitter name is here. Um,
But I mean, now
I
that they're
guess
gonna have
you
a
could
paid
do.
service, you would think. I was thinking they were shutting down Miiverse because they didn't want to pay for the servers. But I mean, it's gonna have a paid service. You could.
Yeah,
I guess they really want to shut it down because they don't want to have to police it.
I think a lot of it was moderating, but I even remember like on some of Miiverse, like there were kids who would say like, "Hey, my mom said I can't use Miiverse anymore because it's too much like Twitter or Facebook." And I'm like, no, it's not. But there were like there were some cool people that I would talk to that were like in high school that's parents were apparently way involved in their life and and would be like, you can't use this, and it's like you can't use Miiverse. Like this is a baby toy.
Right.
I was always surprised when those people had to leave it, but those people aren't going to go to Twitter. I mean, I don't really talk to any of those people anyway, but those were some of the people that just kind of disappeared. But it was a very safe social media environment where you're not going to have somebody calling you a racial slur or a homophobic slur for you just being like, hey, this game is cool, or here's a cool part of the game. You're just going to have a random person be like, you're an idiot. Whereas Twitter's not quite that safe of an environment. And there's not really a sense of community on Twitter outside of the community that you've already built for yourself for the most part.
Right. Exactly.
Or at least I don't branch out. Maybe I think we do have some other friends that do branch out and are like, hey, cool, and you meet people on Twitter. But
yeah, and it's kind of like you were talking about earlier. It's a different feeling. If you're on Miiverse, you're kind of like in the Nintendo section of a game store talking to somebody.
You're hidden behind that me is powerful.
Right, but then you go to Twitter and it's just like you're just picking up the phone and dialing a number and it's like,
it's
hey,
like
man,
you're talking to somebody in Walmart. Yeah,
kind of.
It's like, hey man, you play Nintendo games? And it's like, no.
Shut up, Nintendo's stupid.
Right.
This post was a joke. Yeah. It's a scary world out there, folks.
It's a scary world.
At least you can't get reported on Twitter. Well,
that's true. You probably could.
But I don't know what it would be. If you kind of see it.
It'd just be to the police.
Right.
Yeah. There's a. Yeah, I mean, one of the fun things to me of Miiverse was always just trying to sneak in a comment that shouldn't be on Miiverse. Yeah, no, I'm not as good of an artist, but I would try to sneak in a comment that maybe could be taken multiple ways and just be like, haha, I got away with one.
Like your Shantae comment that's still up.
Yeah. I should double check that.
Response.
Oh, I hope that one ends up on my PDF file.
Yeah, the comment won't be there though.
Yeah, I'm still waiting for. I'm expecting like by the end of Miiverse, everyone's going to be banned. The people are just going to go and like I'm expecting the last week to just be a big mass reporting of everyone for everything. And there'll just be no one left.
I hope I'm not banned at the end of Miiverse, because I think if you are,
you're banned right now, aren't you?
Yeah, but I think it comes off like tomorrow or the next day.
What did you do?
I think it was a Metopia Metopia post where the one of the enemies is a giant nose.
Oh, that's right.
And it's upside. Yeah.
That's right. It wasn't even your Smash Brother one.
Yeah, I know. But I think if you're banned at the end of it, they won't give you your archive. But I'm not sure about that.
Somebody was talking. Was that you that was talking about that? Somebody had said that they saw some sort
I was just assuming that.
Somebody saw some verbiage, I think, somewhere. I haven't personally seen it, that was saying like if you've had so many strikes against you, or if you're banned or something, that they reserve the right not to provide you with. I think they're going to be amazed at how many PDFs they're going to have to send out, because I bet you everyone's just like me. I don't care really if I get a PDF or not, but I'll sign up for it. I'll take anything free Nintendo wants to give me, just like the rest of us.
Right.
I don't understand about being banned or not. Why does that matter? It's it's not like it's going to affect anyone else, but the one person it's going to. So
maybe it's an incentive to like behave before
Be
the
good.
end of Meaver.
Yeah.
last minute threat. We're watching.
Yeah.
All right, we'll brick your system.
The Meavers. I mean, when people look back on Meavers, if they ever, it's weird to think of it. It's going to be like a virtual or like a not virtual console. It'll be like the Virtual Boy. Like it's just going to be one of these old things. Like, do you think the little Meavers icon will show up like on a T-shirt in Animal Crossing or something in the future? Like it'll just be some old relic from Nintendo's past.
Yeah.
For 2 Leaf tickets.
Yeah,
each.
we can look back and say we were there. And I think what people are going to remember more than anything is the bands.
I wonder how much a Leaf ticket's
and the
going
good
to
art.
cost.
I think it's 99 cents, didn't it? Didn't it show that in the thing?
They showed it in the pictures, yeah.
It
also showed, I didn't touch on this earlier, but it showed a menu and it looked an awfully lot like a
Miitomo.
A My Nintendo connection, like meet these criteria. I hope it's not for coins.
Oh, I'm sure there's going to be some sort of. They have to integrate everything into that My Nintendo, everything except for buying a game that's less than $40 or. I don't think I ever heard if the Super NES Classic came with My Nintendo points, but I know that the NES Classic
probably
did.
not.
I think came with like 50 gold points.
Oh,
that's a shame. Anyway, we got off on a Meavers tangent. I can't remember even what else we were going to talk about tonight.
I think really the only thing left on our docket tonight was we were going to mention that Amazon, speaking of not carrying Nintendo hardware, now has an exclusive Super NES 3DS XL, which is pretty sweet looking. If you haven't seen pictures, check it out.
It's better looking than the giant controller NES one that they released. Although I did kind of like that one. I liked that it was silver and had like a red thing back. But that was like, they had already announced, I think, that the new 3DS was going to be a thing. And then it was an old 3DS, so I skipped that one. But yeah, this one basically is just, it looks like a Super NES. And I think Europe and everywhere else got their Super Famicom ones too.
What does the inside look like though?
I think it's actually got like purple buttons. I think it's
nice
actually got the multicolored. So it's kind of sweet. I mean, if you're that into Super Nintendo, which like as much as I love the Super Nintendo, like I don't know that I'm into it that way. Like there's people who are into the NES, and they'll buy an NES shirt or an NES Classic. The NES was very iconic. I mean, we talked about that on a previous week. But like the Super NES, like I don't look at it. I don't be like, man, I wish my 3DS looked like a Super Nintendo. I guess it makes as much sense as anything.
Yeah, I would buy it if it was a small 3DS, just because like I'd buy anything that was a small 3DS.
And luckily, this one, unlike so many others, comes with a pack-in title.
Super Mario Kart.
Oh, well, download code.
Super Mario Kart, not Mario Kart 7. Super Mario Kart for the Super Nintendo, which Amazon's last exclusive 3DS was a green one.
Super Mario World.
That came with Super Mario World. So I'm starting to think Amazon somehow has some weird deal where they just pack everything in with a Super Nintendo game, which I guess is better than an NES game. But still, it's like you're just throwing in an $8 game.
Yep.
Yeah, I know they could have thrown a couple more.
Whereas if I spend $70 on a 2DS, I've got a choice between buying Mario Kart 7 with it, or they just did the new white one that's got new Super Mario Brothers 2 packed in on it for Christmas, which I still think those are going to be like $50 come Black Friday.
Nice. Yeah, that'll be their Black Friday deal.
Let me toss this out. What if the Super NES 3DS XL came with all of the games that were on the Super NES Classic Mini?
That would be a neat marketing gimmick.
Yeah, I think more people would probably buy it. It would be like unique. Yep. I still wish we could buy an ambassador certificate.
That would be awesome.
Yeah.
I'll send you a picture of mine if you want it.
Yeah. I can look one up on the internet. Yeah, I kind of wish some of those games, but I don't even think all the games on the Super NES Classic aren't even available on the 3DS right now. Like
No.
That's true.
there's a good cross section of them that are.
But you're right. Everything I think that was released on the NES Classic, if I'm not mistaken, was available on Virtual Console, but not Super NES.
Which another thing, another injustice that kind of upsets me is that Earthbound, which I've never played and have no particular interest in, is a $10 game, while all the other Super Nintendo games are $8. Like
What is the most
just
popular
like,
one? But yeah, I'm not
I mean,
interested in it either.
it's probably the most high priced resale value. Well, that or Dracula X, but probably Earthbound probably I would think nudges that out.
I think
But
they
I feel
wanted
like
to
they
cover
just
the
tacked on an
cost
extra couple bucks. Yeah,
because
well, that's true
they knew
too.
it was going to be a core hardcore audience that wanted it and nobody else.
Yeah. Well, that was one people screamed for years, though. Like, if you remember when that hit the Wii U, like, I think they actually did a billboard somewhere that was like Earthbound coming to Wii U. Like, they tried to make it a bigger deal than it was, I think. We'll never get an Earthbound 3DS. Or maybe we
By the
will,
way,
coming to
on
Amazon.
that Amazon subject, I'm looking at an article here from April of 2015, commenting on why Amazon hasn't sold Nintendo products directly for the past several years. So up until relatively recently,
That was a thing.
That it was a thing, yeah.
Huh. I mean, I've never been a huge Amazon user, especially for like stuff like that. There's something I like about going to the store and buying hardware and holding it in my hands right then and there.
Yeah, I always do. I always do the order for in-store pickup now. That's just like I having something shipped to me is the oddball scenario that I just don't care for as much.
I guess I did get my Samus 3DS that way, but that's because at the time Best Buy was only giving me the option to have it shipped to my house and didn't give me a store pickup. But I like to go out and pick up the hardware myself when I can. But
they did the same thing on my Roku box, and then they told me something was screwed up with the order and it was going to take a month to show up. But it's like, oh, well, it's available in the store today. Like, why? I don't. Yeah, that really kind of pissed me off.
There's all kinds of weird stuff that happens. Did you know Walmart will not price match with Walmart.com?
That's interesting.
That's funny.
I'm like, wait, you won't even make it the same price as it is on your own website? I'm not asking you to. Anyway.
Yeah, Target, I've discovered I have to order for in-store pickup and the same item will be $2 cheaper. As opposed to if I just order it in the store. Ooh. Yeah, I've noticed that with all the baby stuff and like the bottles and whatever, like everything, at least everything baby related that I've ordered is a couple bucks cheaper as long as I go on the website before I go to the store and order it there first.
You can price match at Target at the register. They'll match the website. I've done that with certain things.
Will they just take your word for it? Or do they look it up?
Well, they kind of will, but I had it open on my phone. Target has free Wi-Fi in their store, so I mean, why not?
That's true. Yeah, I'll tell you what though, I did think that the Samus 3DS was going to be. I thought that was going to be the last 3DS that was a custom 3DS that we would see.
I kind of did too. Yeah.
So and I think I even said that on a previous podcast, but I had forgotten. I knew that I knew that Europe and stuff had a Famicom one, so I should have seen this coming.
Well, this one doesn't count so much because it's very restricted to one store.
Yeah, it is exclusive, but still.
Oh, it's restricted to Amazon?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think it's Amazon exclusive.
But it is 3D. I forgot about that. It's not a 2D, huh?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
I still think if that Pokeball one had been a 3DS, that would have sold like gangbusters.
I'd have bought it.
It still might. I don't know when that's supposed to come out. That's probably coming up soon. But yeah, I would think we're seeing the last few special runs of 3DSs.
Unfortunately, yeah.
If they're smart, maybe they'll bring back that black one from last year.
The small one?
Yeah, that one sold pretty well, I think.
Yeah, it did.
And
Well, yeah, it was only
people like
$100.
Eric like it. Yeah. It's nice to have.
Since we're on a subject of Amazon, I did hear about one other thing, just reading stuff on Twitter. Apparently, if you pre-ordered your Super NES Classic Mini from Amazon, they sold those. You didn't get it right at the launch. You got a delayed shipment. They sold those on those treasure trove trucks.
Yeah, people were
them.
peeved about that. Like that, it's like I pre-ordered this, and you tell me that I can't get it. However, if I go to their little treasure truck or whatever they call it, I could just buy it outright. So they had pre-order people waiting for a restock, and other people can just go up to their little Amazon truck and buy it right there day one.
I don't even know if they have a treasure trove in Las Vegas. I don't know.
Treasure trail. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what this. Yeah, I don't know what this Amazon truck is. I'm not in an area that's big enough to have one, but I imagine it's like a big Amazon food truck somewhere, and people go up and buy crap.
Right. And I think I've maybe read that it's only West Coast, somewhere.
I don't really know the purpose of it, other than the fact that you can sometimes get cool stuff like a Super NES while all these suckers that pre-ordered it are waiting. Like I don't know how it really benefits Amazon to. It doesn't seem like Amazon really has to advertise too much. Like I would figure people know about Amazon by now. So it seems like it's a really big expense for them. I don't know. I don't know what they're getting out of the deal. Other than upsetting people that pre-ordered.
Right? Kind of being like Nintendo.
Yeah. Yeah, that was a pretty bad move. But who knows? I think there's probably plenty out there. I think they will restock these. I wonder how long they'll restock. Like maybe they've learned, and maybe next summer when they finally get around to re-releasing the NES Classic, maybe they'll still have SNES Classics coming at the same time. It'd be nice if everyone who wants something made by Nintendo could actually get it.
That's the truth.
Yeah.
Like and hey, it wouldn't hurt their business model to actually make more money either.
That's also very true.
I don't know what they have against money. But that's a reoccurring topic. Yeah, I think it was a pretty good week as far as Nintendo news. There's a lot happening.
It was.
Between the mobile and the updates. Christmas is coming. Let's hope for just one more direct.
Yeah.
And by the time people hear this, Odyssey will just be mere hours away. Yeah. I mean, I guess technically it's hours right now, but it was hours since the time they announced it. It's just much shorter hours now.
That's right.
Well, if they do another direct, what would be in the direct?
I would think that they would do a Christmas push. It would be nice to have them tease something coming up, in the future,
Smash.
maybe. But I don't know. Maybe they'll hold off for January. I still want to see
January 31st.
Yeah, I still want to see I wish they would just be like, hey, some themes and stuff are coming, or there's something. I keep thinking they should pretty it up before everybody opens it on Christmas.
Yeah.
Wow, this is pretty bare bones,
Well, and if they wanted to release a specialized theme, a holiday, theme of some type would be brilliant. Yeah. Mario with a Santa hat or something,
or a Super Mario Odyssey. I mean, even this the other thing we didn't talk about with this update was they did add some more icons for the users. So they added some Mario Odyssey ones, and it seems like they should be able to just spit those out left and right.
Yeah.
I mean, they've got quite a few, but I mean, you should be able to just scroll through page after page for days with every single character that's ever been in a Nintendo game. Do they? They don't even have like a pit from Kid Icarus, do they?
Not that I'm aware of.
They'll make it some reward on My Nintendo for you to spend platinum coins.
Yeah.
Or even worse, gold coins.
That would be way more worthy than than a wallpaper. I would take that. I mean,
Right.
there's no Star Fox game on Switch, and yet there's Star Fox icons that you could have picked from day one. I think all their main characters should be represented there. They might as well just give us something. But yeah,
Or at least
yeah.
throw out a few with every major release. Mario Kart comes out.
Yeah.
Give us a couple. Whatever.
Yeah, throw some Mario Kart stuff. Throw some stupid ARMS characters. Like, I'll take it. I remember it was a big deal when they did the themes for 3DS. Like, they added, I think, like a pink and backgrounds was black, I guess, was in there too. Because wasn't it just always white until they did the themes?
Yeah.
Or remember they just gave you like it's like right now we've got black and white on Switch. It's like, how hard would it be for them to just throw in the rest of the primary colors?
Well, they've got that color palette for the behind your icon of whatever you choose. Why not just move that over?
Why not just do that with the background? Yeah, it's very simple. Well, the boot times, they got to keep those quick.
They've listened. They've learned.
It really messed something up if your background was red instead of black or white, or reversed.
Ooh, yeah, couldn't do that.
Nobody ever uses that reverse color, except for people severely colorblind that see reverse color, that see negative images. I still don't know what that's for. Oh well. Yeah, hopefully they'll do something before the holidays and pretty it up a little bit so that people who are just getting there when the big massive new users come in, they actually think that it's been something to look at the whole time.
Right.
I mean, even if it was just a happy holidays from Reggie and the people at Nintendo, and then here's a little something. I feel like something should be coming.
Well, that'll probably be a video.
Yep.
They'll throw that in the news feed.
That's true.
Yeah, even Reggie's been I haven't seen that guy in a while.
I was really surprised with the Animal Crossing Direct. It was just a generalized announcer. I really thought we would see either someone from the Animal Crossing series or, something.
Yeah.
But, nope.
Yeah, like Aya Kyogoku.
Well, it's like, why? Like, why even do it as a live stream if it's just basically a short video?
Yeah.
Why not just be like, hey, we're releasing this video at this time? Like, I don't know why they even have to live stream something like that. Like, other than to just try to, for the spectacle, to try to make it a bigger deal than it is. But
well, and
they could just
hype it up,
throw the video there.
And they have worked on making Isabelle her own person in a strange way. She has her own Twitter account and things like that. So.
Yeah, she does. I feel sorry for that Tom from Meverse. He's going to be out on his ass.
He's losing all of his fame.
Anyway, I think that probably about wraps us up for this week.
That's right. We should close it up. Since we were talking about recording dates, I do want to mention, we haven't really mentioned this before, but our episodes always air on Thursday. It's usually available early Thursday morning. So if you're wanting the latest information, that's when to check.
Yep, check us out every Thursday. We've been pretty good about staying consistent on it too, which I'm very proud of us for always kind of piecing something together, which you can't always trust.
We haven't missed a single one, have we?
No, I think we've come close a few times, but I think we've always pulled it out. So we're here for you.
That's right. We're dedicated. We appreciate you listening.
All right.
Yeah, thanks, Barry.
Yeah. Have a good night, everybody.
Have a good night.
Thanks, everyone.
Good night.